Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. It's Friday. You know I'm going to ring the crap out of this bell today. The train is coming. Come on, y'all. Get on board. It is Friday. T to the G to the I to the F. Welcome to today's 5th of the week episode, Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris, and I am so excited, not just because it's Friday, but because we're here together, right? What could be better than being an active and integrative part of one of God's greatest promises? The one that guarantees us when two or more of us comes together, just takes two, with that mindset, heart set, that spirit of being of service and easing suffering in this world. When we come together in agreement, spiritual magic, y'all, look, quit playing. Y'all know what happens up in here. So listen, how are you going to kick off your weekend, huh? I say this is what little thing I like to do on Saturday mornings. I like to go to my phone. I'll make the list tonight, and I always pick 5 people that I have not reached out to, or they haven't reached out to me in the last 5 months. See, a lot of us will go, ain't nothing wrong with her fingers. Her fingers ain't broke. She could have called me too. I ain't called. You never know what's going on in somebody's life. Let me tell you something. If their spirit runs through your front yard, it's for a reason. God doesn't do anything by accident. Just send in, I miss you. I'm thinking of you. I love you. Do it to 5 people tomorrow morning and watch the increase that will be yours. I guarantee it. That's the bell of purpose. I don't accidentally slip and ring it. I ring it on purpose with purpose, because just like that bell has a ring to it, absolutely, the truth does as well. And you're going to hear a lot of truth here today, and I don't want you to miss it, okay? So that's what the bell is all about. Here's my sidekick. Please welcome her to the show. She's been here all 6 years. Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. I love me some Lucy. Oh, I'm sad. This is the last, well, not just this cup because I got all this back up, but it's the last pot of that vanilla bean. I don't know who brought it to my birthday party. People always bring me coffee because they know I go through a lot here on the show. And this one was particularly good. It actually tastes and smell like the name. You know how they say cinnamon bun. Don't taste like a cinnamon bun to me, right? But this is really good. So anyway, I'm going to have my breakfast today while we interview our guests. Today, it's Honey Nut Cheerios with almonds and a banana and 1% skim milk. So great day in the neighborhood. Blessings are in abundance. And so share this program out right now. It doesn't take much to touch a life, and you could be that person today. So who's here? I am excited. You guys know coming up, it's getting closer and closer. You hear me talk about it and have been for a few months now. August 31st through September 1st, right here in the greater Chicagoland area, Tinley Park Convention Center to be exact. It's coming. It's happening. A great 2-day event, the Accelerator Business Summit. I am so honored to be the MC. I'm not kidding you. I ain't going to give away any of my little stuff that I'm putting together, but I'm really excited about this one. Today's guest is one of the incredible keynote speakers that you'll find when you grab your seat, which I know you will, at the Accelerator Business Summit. I have got it in the lineup. I'm going to drop where you can go to get your tickets, and I have a discount code. If you go to the top of any of my Facebook pages, it's pinned to the top. Click on it and receive a 30% discount. I hope to see you there. So when you're there, you see how that's positive. That's affirmation. I'm manifesting it. KIMBERLE Smith Austin is going to be there. And what's she going to do? What is she coming with? Well, let's see. Wow. She does a lot. Okay, here we go. 25 years of experience. Can't shake a stick at that. As a management consultant, a business college professor, KIMBERLE brings us a unique blend of academic and corporate expertise. You know what? Lord, KIMBERLE, overachieve much? Jeez, I'm saying she did everything but go to the moon. She probably got that on her plan sometime this year. Listen, I'm going to do like my nieces and nephews tell me. I can show you better than I can tell you, Uncle Lauren. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get KIMBERLE in here. I'm going to just let her pour into you because she's a great woman. Just wait. Get ready. Get your pens ready. Share this broadcast out. And right now, because she's never been here before, we're rolling out that virtual red carpet. We're giving a virtual standing ovation. How? It's free, it's easy, and it's painless. Throw some hearts up on the screen because here she comes. And she got up with the crack of dawn, KIMBERLE Ann Smith. Now that was a bona fide senior moment. Who in the world? I got to write that name down because I know she's coming. Who is Kimberly Ann Smith?
That's a great question, which is
Look,
interesting.
girl, let me tell you something. And I have a coaching client, Tracy Randolph, and for 2 years, she's been with me 4 years. For 2 years, I would even send her coaching links as Tracy Ross. Tracy Ross,
Okay.
Diana Ross's daughter.
Sure.
I said, girl, look, the day I'd say my own name wrong, just take me to the home.
Right.
Just take me straight to the home. Kimberly Smith, I'm not even looking. Look, Austin.
That's it. You got it.
But look, I'm one of those people. I write stuff like that down because I know how it works. This time next week, I could have met Kimberly Ann Smith. I'm on the lookout for you, Kimberly Ann Smith.
Sure. That's
Kimberly,
my mother's middle name. So I received it, recognizing that although it wasn't me, there was a connection, a link there somewhere.
Ann was your mother?
That's her middle name.
Oh, see, sometimes things come through us on our way to the world.
Right.
So tell everybody, I already said you're in California. It's the crack of dawn. You look great. Okay. I like to dip out for just a minute or so, and let you create your own vibe with the audience. Just, bios. I have them. It's protocol. Some people, you're pulling teeth and you got to have a bio. But with you, I know you know how to talk. So I'm going to let you just get in there, chat it up. I'll pop back in and we'll officially get the interview started. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. You take it away, Kimberly Smith Austin.
Got it. Well, as Lauren said, Dr. Lauren Harris said, Kimberly Smith Austin, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. And I'll tell you, I started all of my formative years from education to career right there in Chicago. My whole family, the world that I know is in Chicago. But in 2006, I made a decision to leave Chicago and move to sunny California. My background is I spent years as a management consultant working with consulting, but also spent some years in the insurance and financial services industry. And what I've learned throughout that time is that we have an opportunity to change the world, even if it's one little snippet at a time. And my desire, even at a young age, I was a young professional, but I went pretty fast in my career, is that I had an opportunity to make an impact. And when I realized that power, I went fast forward, full stream ahead. Graduated from business school in NIU in Chicago land area, then went back and got my MBA. And at that time, I was working for a company and decided, even though I love that company and had done 5-6 roles inside the company, everything from diversity, equity, inclusion, training and development, leadership development, working with the sales team, pulling out a lot of things, I decided after I got my MBA, I was going to switch industries, which I did, going into management consulting. And I will tell you guys, it was amazing. I worked with firms that made me feel amazing. I'd never worked with so many intelligent people, and I was in that circle. I was included, and my goal was just to shine some more. So everything from, business development, you name them, my experiences are unique because most people have one track, right? But when you have a master's of business administration, a lot of the organizations want to play with you in the sense of where are the skill sets, where are the strong skill sets, and let's work with that individual in that way. And hence ending me in strategy, a lot of strategy, executive coaching, leadership. Those are the things that I love and I continue to do today. When I relocated to California, I took my business right along with me and continue to grow and thrive and added new businesses since then.
Look, I would just say, if you ever want another career, you'd be a great, you're strong. I can see you like running stuff in the military, right? I can see you being a powerful actress. Yeah, you have there must be strong women in your bloodline. I have a feeling there's strong women in there. Is that the case? Were your mentors women in your family?
That's an interesting story, and that may be worthy of talking about. I do have a military background, spent 5 years in the U.S. Army. Yeah, so do have that experience.
Wait, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. I like to add that on because thank you for your service. Like it's just nothing. I get it because I was in there. So, but I was in the real military, the Air Force.
Oh, excuse me.
The rest of y'all playing at it. I'm just kidding. Okay. You know we got to do that.
Sure,
One
of
of my
course.
sponsors, you saw Triple Nickel. They're all
Uh-huh.
prior military, Green Berets. So I'm like, y'all just couldn't pass that ass fab, could you? So anyway, so yeah, go on. Talk about it if you could. That little piece.
Well, I grew up in a household south side of Chicago,
Mm,
and my parents divorced when I was 2 years old. And I will tell you, although that happened, my father never disappeared. He was like, "Yes, lady, you're done with me, but I'm not done with you." And he
yeah.
really stood around the whole time, which is another long story. But I was fortunate enough to spend time and grow up with my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt who were in that space. And although they are strong women, I will tell you some of the choices that were made were a little unique. My grandmother was the model example. And I say this because I realize that these things create who I have become.
Yeah.
Model example, worked for the post office for 40 years. And although she had the best intent in her heart, I learned as I aged that she was an enabler. Yep,
Mm,
enabler, and I watched how she enabled her 2 daughters, which I believe was part of they make their own decisions, but her as a parent didn't help them go to that next level where I believe they could have gone. Strong as can be, powerful women, but both ended up with drugs and alcohol as part of their life. And I'll
mm.
be honest with you, part I would say my inspiration for what not to do.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Amen. Second that emotion. And I say that in the masterclass, shameless plug. In my masterclass, I actually say that many times in life, including family, we find ourselves in situations with people who go, why would I be in? Why am I going to? But oftentimes it's so that we have an example of what not to become. It is a blessing.
Absolutely.
God is purposeful, not just in one thing, but in all
That's it.
things. So
That's it.
so what I want, where I tell you where I want to start, is, and it ties into what you just explained to us,
Sure.
how you saw something different for yourself. So let's start with the book. You're a co-author of a book entitled "Millions of Possibilities: Taking Your Ideas from Inspiration to Monetization." So
Yes.
inspiration, big piece. A lot of people don't know the difference between inspiration, manifestation, imagination. Take your pick. So talk about what's different about this book and why imagination, or inspiration. A lot of people think they know what that consists of. What
Sure.
say you about that topic?
Well, when I think about inspiration, and there's also the discussion about motivation and inspiration. And I believe motivation is an inside job. Along with my business consultancy, I run a wellness practice and
Mhm.
I'm constantly working with people with health and fitness and things of that nature. So when I look at these things, I think they go hand in hand because if you're healthy, you're happy, you're productive, you're creative, you can change the world. But when you think about motivation, it has to be internal, right? I don't need you, Lauren, to motivate me to go do what I need to do.
Right.
Unfortunately, there are people that need that. And so what I realize is that in terms of inspiration, we have all these grand ideas. We have them in our head and our heart, but in a lot of cases, we don't take action on them. They sit and they sit and they sit and they never come to fruition. I heard Les Brown say that the cemetery is the richest place in the world because
Hmm.
people die with their dream inside of them.
Hmm.
And so my vision for the book was to really help people get those things out of their brain, out of their heart, and into action and monetize it. Because there are millions of possibilities. There's so much that we can do as people, regardless of our education, regardless of our family of
Hmm.
origin, and how we were raised. We have the ability to transform our world. It takes
We
one
do.
decision. One decision.
Amen. And that's absolutely true. Even like, and that's a great point about the difference between motivation and inspiration. I had to learn that when I started my speaking career. I thought I wanted to be a motivational speaker
Yes.
until I learned a motivational speaker merely reminds people of things they already know.
Mhm.
For instance, if somebody says from the stage, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him,
Drink.
everybody's going to say drink.
Right.
That you just reminded them of something they were previously aware of. But inspirational speakers leave their listeners, their audience, pondering, going,
Mm,
I never thought of it like that.
sure.
And that's a big difference. So yes, big word, power word, and that's why I headed right for it. So who did you write this book for? Who did you, and who's the co-author?
Well, I want to speak to one thing you just spoke of,
Okay.
inspirational, motivational. I want to throw one more term in there. And
Oh,
this is what I believe I am, a transformational speaker. So I'm taking the motivation and the inspiration and changing it to transformation because I want people to take action. It's one thing to hear something, but again, I am all two words that people always use with me is action and results. I'm focused on helping you do something differently than you've already done or do something. Again, it goes back to inspiration to action. How do we bring that to life? So who's the book for? The book is for anyone. I'll be real
wait a minute.
honest with you.
Just wait.
I love, go
Let me
ahead. I'm
just,
sorry.
sorry to interrupt, but I just want to get this up because I'm so stealing transformational speaker. I just want to throw this up on the screen in case y'all try to sue me or something. There, I'm just saying. So, I didn't see trademark come out of your mouth when you say. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Go on. Go on.
The thing I think about when it comes to the book, I say anyone, because my heart's desire is to give people a tool, a resource that will inspire them to take the action with something that's already inside of their heart. I have a course that goes along with the book. I have workshops that I do that go along with the book, but it really is a 5-step framework that helps you dump all these ideas and then bring them to life. Now, what I love is that I could work with the kid, the young adult, because in today's marketplace, we see kids 8, 10, 16
Oh yeah.
launching their own businesses.
Yep.
And I love leaving legacy behind. So I have a 16-year-old son, and he doesn't know anything but business. He doesn't want to work a traditional job. And he goes, I don't want to do that, Mom. He's watched me as an entrepreneur build businesses over the years. And he's like, that's what I want to do.
Mhm.
And having a book like that as a roadmap can help him take those next steps. He launched his own a brand company with hats and things like that. Right now, he's looking at a filtered media company. So anyone, but what I want to do also is look at individuals that may be in corporate America, right? And they are working and
Oh,
working and working. And I'll tell you, friends,
getting chewed up.
that's exactly it. That's
I got
exactly
some
what.
of those clients.
Mhm.
Oh,
And we know that work is, and I tell people getting a traditional job is great at the beginning because they teach you skill sets that you may or may not have. And so
sure.
you have to learn somewhere.
Leadership and all kind of stuff. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. But Kimberly, back to the corporate, it's like a chainsaw. I'm not kidding. My clients that are in corporate and a few of them, when they started working with me, they were transitioning
Mhm.
and became successful enough to leave the corporate job. But then down the road, and this ties into the second part of the title of the book, the monetization part. A lot of people know their purpose, or they think they know it, or they're seeking it. And, they know what they want to do to ease suffering in the world, but they, for whatever reason, have a lot of trouble monetizing.
Yes.
A lot of people with sacred gifts. Oh, well, I can't charge for it. I must give it away. Okay, well, when your butt is sleeping under the bridge, what you going to, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I want to talk about that. Why so many people feel like their heart-centered space has to be, why do they have so much trouble monetizing? I'll throw this out there to start with. One of the things that I find, you tell me what you think, is that a lot of us don't realize the difference between a price tag and value.
Sure.
The price tag is on the product or service. The value is inside you. It's what you're bringing, and it's priceless.
Yes.
So they're not
Absolutely.
paying you for your content. They're paying you for what it took to print the book, and if you're speaking, the time away from your family. But those stories, and I want you to get into that because I know you must talk about that in the book, about how
Absolutely.
important is it to honor your scars, or share your stories. So talk about that monetization. Is it what people always assume? Scarcity mindset. You don't know how to manifest. You
Yeah.
don't feel worthy enough. Talk about those points.
I agree with you 100%, Lauren. So many people, number one, if they step into entrepreneurship, and
Yeah.
I believe everyone could, but I know not everyone will, they are afraid. There's some fear that sits there. On top of that, when they get into the marketplace, they are not charging what they're worth. And I'll give you a fast forward. When I first left corporate, I was being billed out at probably about $500 an hour. That was 1999. I was being billed out at $500 an hour. And I said to myself, I am ready to leave. If I can charge $350 an hour, I could probably get some business. And guess what? I did. Some folks said yes, and I was able to launch my consulting firm. Now, I was not afraid. $350 today is still a lot of money. And I tell people
Yeah.
all the time, I am not your cheapest consultant, speaker, coach, whatever capacity I'm coming in, but I assure you, I'm going to bring you high value and you will take action from what we're working through. And so when you look at that, recognizing that your value is not aligned to what you've done in the past or what you could do. It's about what you believe works. I'll give you a prime example. You asked me previously about the co-author of the book, young lady that I mentor. I was a keynote speaker at a women in business event. She saw me. I didn't know the pathway. She saw me and decided she's going to find me, and later found me in a Toastmaster group, asked me to be her mentor. Now, she had spent $100,000 on personal development and had been doing this over and over and over again. And her and I sat down, and I'm a catalyst for change, catalyst for action. And I pushed and pushed and pushed and said, hey, listen, I love who you are. I love what you represent. Let's do this project together. Now, we wrote one version of the book and I did scrap it, said, no, I don't like it. I'm going to revisit it and bring something else to the table, which is how we pulled this final production out. But it was really one of those things where even today, she still struggles with her value. She's now since launched her own business. We have a collective business, Made to Inspire, but she has her own business now. And I'm constantly talking about pricing, aligning with your value. So as I see, she's starting to creep on up.
Yeah.
The woman has 20 years of mental health experience, a genius. And there's no way you should give your talent away to the marketplace for free or
You're
$100.
absolutely right. And a lot of us, it's what I found with myself, because I struggled with that. I had a lot of bathtub rings, if you will, within my journey. Scarcity mindset, imposter syndrome. Seriously, when I went to get the doctorate, when the regalia came, the box, I couldn't even open it for 4 days. I was home alone, like I am this weekend. I'm home alone. And it was sitting in the dining room. I kid you not, Kimberly. I couldn't walk from the living room to the family room because I had to pass it. So I'd go out the front door, walk all the way around the house, come in up on the deck through the slider because I felt like I was a corpse in there. I called my best friend Mark. Mark, I'm scared. That box, So all kinds of things that we don't know, deep seated, but they all equate to one thing, something that does not serve us. Now, I want to ask about because I found, here's what one of my coaches, Robert Garcia, he's the publisher of Shift magazine back there with the painted face and all that. And I remember the day it switched for me. He said to me, because he was telling me about my early coaching pricing, right? And he was like, write this down. This is your new launch in 30 days. Blah, 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 blah. And every number he gave me, I took $500 off as I wrote it down. And I said, what's this? Look what I just wrote down, Robert. He goes, Lauren, you did that because you feel you can only charge people what you can afford.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean I couldn't afford the actual thing, but I don't have it set aside. I think I can't afford. People pay for what they want.
Right. Absolutely.
They just don't always pay for what they need.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's talk about that mindset. So are people monetizing and don't even know? Because listen, you can monetize and not say shit. Not have anything to do anything with. You're monetizing, but you still paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
So how do we monetize, or what are some tips on monetization that stays in front of you long enough for you to know, oh, look, I made a little money.
Right.
So you can feel the win.
First of all, you have to take an assessment of your organization and who am I, what am I doing, and where am I going? And I think, people do live paycheck to paycheck in traditional jobs and businesses. But what we have to change our mind is, I'm not doing that. I'll give you a prime example in consultant. Young 30-year-old something, I was probably making $30,000, $40,000 a month. Okay. And I would easily, and this is me taking.
I thought you were going to say a year. And I was like, well, that's good. But then a month. Okay, go ahead.
A month. And I literally would probably only take the money for my expenses. I had absolutely no debt. All I had was my mortgage and my automobile expenses and anything. And I'm a huge saver. So I would probably put
Are you?
$30,000 in the bank each month. That's ridiculous, right? Who does that? When I
Who
realized
indeed?
what my purpose was, where I'm going, what I want in my future, whether it be retirement or college funding, I didn't have children at the time, but I knew I wanted more out of my life. Therefore, I put stuff aside so that I can come back to that rainy day. I don't want to be pinching pennies because I did that as a teen. I didn't know from day to day if I was going to have enough money to get on the bus to go to school because the folks in my house was drinking it or smoking it. And so I think that
Mm.
built up my mentality of, hey, let's get our numbers, our X's and O's, let's cross them on the spot to ensure that there's success waiting for me and there's money, there's value. I can invest some of this money back for my corporation for use in the corporation, but also for future projects that I want to work on coming up.
Yeah. Hey, what about this? Because I know you have these answers. I can just sense it. You know, a lot of people devalue or undervalue their gifts, what their
Mhm.
products, their services, because they're desperate. They feel like, you know, okay, like here's an example. Someone comes, and I had a girl yesterday. She spent $38,000 on coaching just in January. In last November, she spent 8,000 on something else, and she's working with both of the people. And she's like, I wish I hadn't done it. I'm still working with both of them. And so a lot of people, let's say this, those people that come running into our space, we know we can help them, but they
Sure.
come in smelling like soot because they just came out of some place where they were getting burned or are currently burning.
Right.
What do you do? I find it very hard because this is where I went wrong in the early days. Being an empath and all this and you know, feeling, and knowing how desperately I wanted what I have today, I would give the farm away. I would give the farm away. I didn't know how to have my calls that led to converting in a way where I didn't spend 4 hours on a low yield investment and then miss the appointment for the person that would have converted because I was stuck on this one because you posted. Talk about leadership.
Yeah.
How important is knowing your leadership method or strategies or mentality, whatever? There's so many names they attach to it, so that you have your best chance of literally monetizing.
Right.
We're not all
Well,
leaders just because we own our businesses.
correct. Correct. But you said something important, recognizing your gift, recognizing your talent, and how that in itself is a value to the marketplace. Here's the truth. People are looking for a quick fix. They want to peel something fast to take so they can get from 0 to 1,000. And here's what we do as coaches, having our experience, our knowledge, and for me, that passion is what makes me invaluable because my experiences are going to fast forward you to from 0 to 2,000 on my experience alone. And now my experiences may not be your experience, but my job, I believe, is to help you through the journey. And I was just talking to a business colleague yesterday about this point. This is good. I think you'll appreciate this. She has a product, $5,000. It's a 90-day program. And she says, I have them give me a $1,750 deposit. And I said, oh, that's awesome. And then she says, and then I tell them after 30 days, if they don't like it, they can end the contract. And I said, what?
An automatic out?
If they don't like it. And I
If
said,
they
oh,
don't
no,
like
no,
it,
no,
but
no.
is
I
she
said,
not
no, no.
planting the seed?
I said, no, 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 no. We don't do that. You're right. And I says, first of all, they came to me for a reason, and I want to hold your hand through the process. Now, keep in mind, people are going to quit. You know, the retention rate and the attrition rate is going to vary because some people don't make it to the finish line. But if you've hired someone like us, our goal is to help you to the finish line. And I says, you're enabling them by allowing them to come out of their financial commitment. Even if they don't finish, that $5,000 must be paid through the end, 30
Yeah.
days, 60 days, and 90 days. And she goes, huh? And I go, absolutely. You have a conversation with them and let them know I am here to support you every step of the journey, but don't let them out. And
Because she's enabling. She's enabling.
it's exactly it. Exactly. You're not allowing them.
Codependency. Or is it something in her too?
Yes, that's the same one that deals with pricing herself right. And so I had that conversation and she goes, okay, I'm
Wow.
going to change that. Because again, even though she has so many skills, she just doesn't yet yet see the full value.
Wow. When we come back, we're going to have to take a short commercial break. I want to come back and I want to talk about the Made to N, the letter Inspire podcast.
Yes.
And what it's all about, and how you serve people through that. And we've got a lot more that we want to ask you too when we come back. You guys, this is a great time to share out the broadcast. I'm letting that hang out there. You get it? Share it out. Don't just be like, Lord. Share it. Okay, we'll be back in 1 minute. You guys don't go away. Welcome back. Before we get Kimberly Ann back, I'm kidding. I know it's Kimberly Smith Austin. See, y'all think he did it again. No, I didn't. But I did do this again. I did grab for my daily dose of V8. The light's kind of shining on, but y'all see this almost every day. They're back. V8 was gone for about 60 days. I'm going like, what I do? Anyway, they're back. And so, listen, seriously, about 4 years ago, I gave up the Diet Coke. It did not serve me in any way possible. And I replaced it with V8. 60 calories in every one of these little babies. 150. Why did I say that? It's not 150. I just added percent. It's 100%. But okay, it makes me feel like it's 150. There it is. No mistakes on the planet. That's just the universe keeping this stuff interesting. It is fully chocked with lots of things. 2.5 servings of vegetables for one. I don't know how they fit them in there, but they do. And it's easy to find. Head down the juice aisle at your local grocer and you'll find it. Comes in a variety of flavors. Don't wait until you think it's too late. Pop the top and say, I'm glad I had my V8. Okay, come on back in, Kimberly Smith. Come on back in. I got to drink it or it's not official. They want to make sure you swallow it. I know they got a lot of fine print in that contract, a lot. Right. So don't drink it out of a glass. Make sure the front of the can is show. Okay, so happy? I am. So Kimberly, you have a podcast. How long you been doing that?
3 years. We started the podcast in the midst of COVID. And the really purpose was going sideline with the book, but more than that. So my co-author or co-host is a business psychologist, and obviously I'm a business strategist. And we decided we're going to target entrepreneurs, executives, and emerging leaders and give them tips, tools, and tactics to help them take their business from where they are to where they want to go. So our conversation is quite interesting. We'll get into some deep things. And then some days we just have casual conversations. We bring guests on, but the whole purpose is helping leaders get the tools they need and really assess their business and saying, what do I need? And how am I going to expand my business? And it's not just business tools. Sometimes it's relational things. Sometimes it's things that relate to networking but anything in the business space.
That helps them move their purpose. Let me ask you, this term, because I already know somebody's out there going, she's talking about emerging leaders, those lucky people. How do people identify before someone says, hey, you, come here, you emerging leader? How does what are some of the qualifications for an emerging leader? It's not like we can sit there, we having lunch. Ooh, girl, look. You could tell she an emerging leader. Look at her shoes. You know what I'm saying? What are the points? Tick, 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 tick. You are an emerging leader. So that they go, oh, well, here I come, Kimberly. So what does that mean? Who are they? What do they look like?
Well, when I think about my own personal career, being a young professional, and I remember I was always discouraged when people would say, "You're so young," but I was moving and shaking. I was changing things around. I had a thought process that was very different than most people in my department. I remember particularly working for MetLife. I worked for MetLife Insurance
Oh,
Company, and I worked in a department, and they actually I wanted to pursue my master's degree. And they told me, well, no one else in this department has a master's. And I go, well, let's look at the work that I perform and where the department wants to go. We went to the vice president of the company and said, hey, let's put this out on the table. It was later approved because I was making a difference and an impact in what I was doing day to day, but also giving them ideas and visions. And I'll tell you, most people, when you're a leader, I don't want to say you know it, but you move, your vibration is totally different. You see
yes.
differently, you operate differently, you have the capacity to take on more than what the average person can do. And I think you just see things a little bit different. And I see that when I see young people, I know right away, boom, that's a leader. Now they may not know it just yet, but because they have not assessed their skill set and recognized, wait a minute, I do that. And look, I am above the crowd. I am ahead of the crowd and just my ability to see, do, and be. And that's one of the things I think it comes to. Someone who wants to learn more, someone who wants to get involved and help push an agenda forward, not necessarily in a positive, negative way. It could be a positive way. But I think that's a difference between someone who's just an employee. You'll see the difference.
There really is. I want to give you a scenario because this just happened a couple nights ago. And it speaks to leadership styles.
Mhm.
Okay, because we hear that too. Now, and I'm using myself because it was me. We at E360 TV, I kicked off the network presidents thing. I mean, having our own network. So I'm kind of like the beta tester. Now there are 6 other network presidents on the network. So we had our monthly brainstorming meeting.
Mhm.
Strong personalities, brilliant mindsets. And there's this one woman who will remain nameless. We'll call her Karen. I just found out about that Karen thing. I didn't even know that. My husband had to explain it to me. At my party, him and this lady were talking about she's a Karen. I'm like,
Right.
what is that? So anyway, let's just say Karen. And so she sat there the whole 59 minutes of the 60. And then at the last thing before we were going to sign off, she says, well, this meeting has been dominated by 3 people. And when she said dominated, I felt like I was being called a bully because I was like, hold on. Unless you had like chronic lockjaw and it miraculously healed in the last 30 seconds, if you can speak that at minute 59, you could have spoke at 30 seconds in.
Absolutely.
Nobody was, so let's talk about that. Differences,
Mhm.
because, I don't hold back. You're not going to make me feel less than because you couldn't come up with something
Sure.
clever or you didn't have anything to pour in. And that's how I placed it out there. I framed it with there's a difference between dominating and pouring in.
Sure. Yeah.
Dominating sounds like control.
Yeah.
And it's no one took your control, you relinquished it. Talk about that. How and use me as an example because I'm like, look, I ain't even got time for that. It's late
Right.
here in Chicago. I got a husband to feed. Bye. Right. And they told me that after I left, she never did say, here's what I was waiting to say. She just wanted to complain. And it said everybody was quiet for like 2 minutes. They said, you shut it down. But
Well, first of all, I see it as one of those things where she was passive aggressive, waiting to the very end to provide her input, which I found to be quite interesting. And like you said, if there was opportunities for you to speak and share and give input, do it. Why are you waiting? Yes, there may be some powerful people pushing their words or just engaging. That does not mean that you have to press back. You chose that. That was an option for you. And unfortunately, now you can't say it's someone else's fault because you took that position. And I think that's what you said, Dr. Lauren, that
Yeah.
she took that position. But when I think about leadership, you
Yeah.
get involved. You're part of the party. You don't sit back and wait and see what everyone else says. Now, I do believe there's an approach to it,
approach.
and I'm a very diplomatic person. I
See,
will
that's
say
what
I
I need
wasn't
to learn.
always. Back in the day, I wasn't always. I might have cut you, but today and for the last probably 10, 15 years, very diplomatic because I want to consider the people that I'm sitting with and never want to hurt anyone, but
Yes.
yet still get my point across or get to the better good for everyone because I'm
Well,
a win-win person.
let's go back to your emerging leader thing.
Mhm.
Because these were all show hosts who now have da 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 da, and now they're going to have their own channels. But when you come to a certain level or you reach a certain level, shouldn't it be expected that you come as a CEO? If you go to something where it's Fortune 500 or 100 CEOs, then you better bring your A game. If
Right.
you're going to meet with partners of a law firm and you're a partner,
That's
you
right.
can't come in like a junior associate,
Right.
right?
You have to come sit at the table. And she was at the table and chose not to take her role at the table and then later blame other people that, oh, I didn't
Yeah.
contribute because
Yeah.
no, that doesn't work for me.
So how do we as a collective take people like that? And, is there anything in your book or the work you do that helps people who are running something, but you see someone down here, but because it's so much is going on. It's like, ain't nobody got time to get her where she should have been before
Right.
she decided to have her own network. Or do we have that responsibility? Or you know what I'm saying?
Well, if you look at the responsibility of the greater good, then you having been experienced as a show host, you could very well say, hey, Lisa Joe, listen, I understand you were a little frustrated because you didn't get heard or you felt like the meeting was dominated. I'm excited about the show that you're bringing forth. And, here's a couple of tips that you may look at in the future. I believe in, I'm a fan of helping build
Yeah.
people up. And so even though
Yeah.
that's not your responsibility, but as the citizen that you are, and I think I heard for the greater good, you will do something like that because you want to see everyone win, right? Now, if they don't
Yeah.
win, that's their own fault.
You just reminded me too of something my birth mother told me years ago after I found her when she was working for me one night. I fired her. I hadn't even been playing company. And she was serving us. She was eating all the shrimp off the tray with her two friends from church who were at the event over in the corner. They just sitting there. And anyway, and she said, well, you were justified later the next day. She goes, you were justified in telling me to go home if I da. She goes, but it was the way you did it.
Right.
She goes, Lauren, as a leader, you should always leave people feeling better than the way you found them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the thing
Absolutely.
that I struggle with because I'm
Absolutely.
like, it's all about the bottom line and you should know better. And we ain't got time for that. I say, I'm a sweet brown you in 3, 2, 1. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. That's the leader I used to be. I mean, and because it was, hey, I don't have time to deal with you, or you, but that doesn't work for everyone. And it doesn't produce the greater good for the organization.
You
I
might
was
be
just
my next
coaching.
coach.
Yeah. I was just coaching.
I graduate through coaches to do
Okay.
systems coach, speaking coach, yeah. And let's talk about that. How would a person know if they're ready for what you coach?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the telltale signs that they might need a Kimberly Smith Austin in their life?
Well, I'll speak to this point we're talking about right now, and I'll use the word emotional intelligence. And that is one of the key things, especially when it comes to leadership coaching, executive coaching. I work with a lot of CEOs, people in the C-suite, but also some of the middle senior managers, helping them develop their skills when it comes to emotional intelligence and some of the self-awareness stuff that sometimes we're just not conscious of. We know, but we don't want to take action. We don't want to change. And so for you, one of the things I think about, we always want to praise first. Regardless, if the person's crazy and they've created a whole negative energy in the environment, we still want to go with praise first. Because as your mother said, you always want to leave the person better than they started. So if I come to you and say, Lauren, listen, really, really appreciate you giving me this opportunity to be here and serve with your event planning team. I loved it. You're amazing. So you see, I'm praising you. You're amazing. I did notice that, and notice I didn't say but. I did notice that, you were sitting in the corner eating the shrimp. Hey, listen, those shrimp are for our guest. And although I would love to provide you some, maybe we can look at doing something on the side. Maybe you can do it during the break, get a few here or there. But today, our function is to create an amazing environment for the people that are here. And so I just wanted to give you that side note and really working people through, because our family of origin, our experiences lead us to who we become and how we move into the world. But we have to recognize that that doesn't necessarily mean it's all good. And I spoke of that earlier. Our experiences, your experience, and my experience allows me to be a phenomenal coach and leader, because that's what built me up. And I can now transfer some of that information to you and relate to you. Same thing being true when it comes to encouraging and building people up to help them go to that next level in their life. Because some of us are wounded.
Yep, most of us, but we're not broken, bruised, wounded,
That's
but
right.
never broken.
That's right.
You when people work with you, what's the average amount of time it takes? I know it's all individually based on how hard they work and this and the other,
Sure.
but people come to you for what, 6 months, a year? How long? What's your coaching
The
program?
minimum that I will take is 90 days, right? The minimum. And I say this to you really quickly, but 6 months, 12 months is ideal,
Yeah.
because there's a process that we want to work through. But I say this all the time, is that people say it takes 21 days to change a habit, 66 days to change a habit. And I'll tell you, it takes one decision. One decision.
Okay.
And how
That's
you
that
take
right.
that one decision and live it out will then determine how and when you change.
You hit it right on the head. I was just telling someone yesterday, I was a young kid that was over here doing some work for me, and I said, when you make choices, you just choose one of the R's. That's the outcome. Do you want to rejoice or do you want to regret?
That's right.
And just choose. And that's going, you're going to walk right into whatever you choose or chose. So let's get to this. You're coming to Chicago. I know you're going to be spending time with family and this and that. Oh, yeah. Hey, y'all.
Indeed.
Thinking around. Yeah. So you're coming August 31st through September 1st. I'm sure you're probably going to be here a few more days than that, coming all the way from Los Angeles. So what are you bringing to the Accelerated Business Summit? Tell us about your keynote, and because we want people to get over there. We're going to drop the link in the chat here in your comment section, rather, in just a moment, so you guys can get over and get your tickets today. And I know you have a 30% off thing too.
Yes.
That Martha provided everybody. Martha Razzo, shout out to Martha, Accelerated Business Summit visionary. So what are you bringing to Chi-Town, Kimberly, coming home?
Well, I'm going to talk about business strategy, for those, and our market is business. So we're talking about business strategy and utilizing this AI, artificial intelligence. I've been talking about how that operates today and really helping people look at how can you use
Hot
AI.
topic.
Yes, for growth and innovation in your organization. And I'll tell you, if you're not using it, number one, you need to be at the conference. If you are using it, you need to be at the conference, because I'm going to give you some advanced techniques and strategies to help you use it to grow your business. I'm a business growth strategist.
Oh, well, I'm going to have my ear to the ground for that. We were watching, I record them because I never, I'm not a person who knows. It's 7:00 on Friday. Sit down in front of the TV. So I have to record in 60 minutes is the only thing I really record, that in tennis. And they had a whole thing on there, and some of it was scary about AI. How they start coming up and speaking like humans and thinking actually emotional outcome. And so talk about it. I think the number one fear with a lot of people, not so much entrepreneurs, but people that say work for someone else, there's a fear that AI is going to end up taking all their jobs.
Here's what I say to people. Not today. It won't happen today. It
Not
may
on Kimberly's
happen
watch.
down the road, because here's the truth. AI needs our intelligence to tell it what to do and how to operate. For example, a lot of tools out there today, ChatGPT, some of the other tools, we know Google and all these people are incorporating, but it's saying to me, Kimberly, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? How do I say it? So it needs us right now in order to really push the AI forward. Now, will they improve it and make some redesign so that it thinks for us or becomes us? I believe so. AI has been around since 1956, and it's been used for year upon year, but it's just making a space in the marketplace today.
For the normal everyday guy, Joe Blow, to be able to have access. Last question, and I want you to talk about this. We got about 3 minutes. Oh, I was supposed to put the thing up. Sorry, y'all. Okay, there's one, and we're gonna rotate. You're gonna guys, we're gonna put Kimberly's links up now, so get them, but they'll also be in the comment section for you, so don't worry. AI, last AI question. For a person like myself, who I do not consider myself techie, my tech kid comes over at least once every other week. He just had to come and declog my system because I don't know how to delete stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right. And what you're going to talk about at the conference about using AI to move your business forward, should a person like me who considers himself not so techie be intimidated or say, well, I ain't going to that one because I can't even, do a spreadsheet?
No, I would say absolutely not. I think that's even more reason why you come and learn how you can use this tool, even at a very minute basis, to start incorporating. Because here's the truth. If you are not using AI, you are losing. And I say it all the time, you either use it or you lose it. And it's almost like when the computers came out and people were pushing back on, I don't want to use the computer.
Right.
Let me tell you, those folks that are still doing paper and pen, it's archaic, it's outdated. And
Right.
that's what AI is doing to our marketplace today. We need to be on top of this. And if you're looking to take your business faster, further, now
Yes.
is the time to tap into AI.
Yeah, yes. That's so funny. You had me. I had a flashback to my birth mother when we tried to get her to do a cordless phone. And she's like, I ain't getting rid of my landline. Oh, no, the cell phone. I ain't getting rid of my landline. Right. She was resistant because people stay comfortable within what they know.
Sure.
Right. Well, I, for one, will be in the front row. Well, literally backstage when I'm in the MC, but I'll be catching every word of your enlightening keynote at the Accelerator Business Summit. And I hope you guys are there too. We got a lot of time for you to still grab your tickets. I'll drop that link as well in your comment section today. Final thought. If people were to forget everything you said today, but you knew that there was one nugget in there that if they'd only take this and put it in their pocket of purpose and take it with them, their lives could change in a big, big way, what would that be, Kimberly?
Life is what you make it. I really believe that. It is not what someone else said it could be or should be. Life is what you make it. One of my favorite books, really quick, is Jack Canfield's Success Principle. And the first chapter says, take 100% responsibility for your life. And when you take responsibility for your life, your goals, your dreams, let me tell you, you can change your world and the world around you. So make your life great.
Preach. Say it then. Y'all better quit playing now. Quit playing with it and get those tickets. We will see you, Kimberly and I, in Chicago, August 31st and September 1st. You didn't say I want you here. I didn't say I want to see you. I said I will see you.
That's
okay.
Right.
So we are manifesting together.
Yes.
Kimberly, I wish we had more time. My goodness, we were just getting started, but we'll pick it up here in Chicago when you show up. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for pouring into us.
Thank you for having me.
It was awesome. You guys, I told you, Friday shows are the best shows. I love them all, but Friday's are extra special. Listen, get out there, and I will see you Monday. Who's here Monday? Let me look real quick. Monday. Who is coming Monday? Oh no, I'm way in August. Hold on, y'all. Coming up Monday is Akua. She's a spoken word artist out of the Bronx, and she just got a special with BET. So she's going to be here on Monday. You don't want to miss it. You're going to get blessed in a big, big way. But in the meantime, get out and be the blessing. I'll meet you Monday morning, God willing, right over there on the front porch, where together we will create another divine moment through illuminated conversation. How's that sound? So as in parting, as always, I say to you, I love you, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. So I'll see you Monday. Thank you. Great job, Kimberly. Great job. See you in Chicago.
You.
Have a great week.
Thank you for having me. Have a great one.
Bye, you guys. Have a great one.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show